The purpose of this clip is to look at the setup of the mobile phone in Google Calendar. So we're logged in here looking at the email in Google. So then we flick to Calendar just above the GAA logo. And when the calendar appears, we can then modify the calendar settings. So in order to link your mobile phone to your Google Calendar, go into Settings, Calendar Settings up here in the top right, and then we've seen by default the General tab for Calendar Settings, then information about calendars themselves, and the third one over here is the Mobile Setup. So with the Mobile Setup, what it means is that for calendars where you are the guest, in other words calendars owned by other people, built by other people, that they share with you with respect to meetings and other events, that as well as getting email notification, especially when the event is set up, but in particular when the event might be cancelled or it might be delayed or moved or changed, then having your mobile phone number hooked up to your calendar, to your email address effectively, but under your calendar, it means that when notifications are generated by the other parties, by the people who are inviting you to various events or telling you about various events, it means that you get a text message in addition to the email. So the calendar sends out its information via email, but one of the real perks of using the Google solution is that you may also get text messages, and those text messages are free of charge. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting my own mobile phone number onto my Noel.Tierney ITC account. So I took it off there a few minutes ago just before I started recording this clip, so now I'm adding it back in again. So I put in my number with the 353086, or the 86 rather, and then the 7 digits. So when I'm setting up this for the first time, what the system does is to kind of verify that my number is correct. It sends me an automatic text message. So my phone here is on silent, I think, so it mightn't be heard, but I'm hitting the send button, and that should send a verification text to my mobile phone number, as you can see here. And this text will arrive immediately. So when it arrives, my job is to take it and key it in. So it's 967420. So that finishes the setup. Now, even before I go any further, there's a few other things I need to do in setup. Before I go any further, with all the Google components, it's important to save your work often. So here I am in the bottom left hand corner or on the top left, and I can save my settings, the work I've done so far. So I'll now go back into the settings again, into the mobile setup again. So I've done the bits and pieces that regarding the mobile phone and those elements of it, and I save them. And then what I might want to do is influence the when messages appear, or when I get text messages. So when I want to get text messages, under the mobile setup, I can go in here under notifications, and for the notifications there's reminders. So here there's no reminder set up. So what I can do here is I can, when an event is arranged, so when the people that are inviting me to events arrange them, I can arrange to get an email or an SMS or a pop-up in advance of the meeting. So if I'm inclined to forget when things are on, I can have a number of reminders here. So I can say I'm going to get, for an event, I might want to get an SMS, not just minutes before the event, but I might get it days before the event. So it might be, we'll say, initially I might want something maybe 2 days before the event. So send me a text message. So the system will automatically send me a text message. But I can add additional reminders. So I can have another SMS we'll say something maybe a number of hours before the event, maybe 3 hours before the event. And if I'm very forgetful altogether, maybe get another SMS a few minutes before the event, 10 minutes before the event. And then I can add in, as well as SMS reminders, I can have email reminders leading up to the event. So I can have an email reminder, we'll say, maybe 2 days before the event. Another email reminder maybe a day before the event, or whatever. So you have the choice there of hours, days, weeks. So that's the choice. So you can add in those events, or add in those reminders to indicate when you want the system to notify you. So that means, going back to the calendar, for our various calendars, this is the club registrar one I'm working on currently. Okay, so I will get reminders about the meetings I'm arranging myself. So that's one way of doing it. Likewise, other people's events that they're inviting you to, the same kind of scenario can apply. So how I'd like to be notified then, choose how I'd like to be notified. It can be by email or SMS. So for new invitations, email, SMS. So you can tick one or both of those. Changed invitations, same. And likewise, cancelled invitations. And you can do the same for the other options if you want to. So that's the actual the way the calendar can be set up so that you'll get the notifications. So it's important here, if your mobile phone is set up as part of your Google Calendar, then you have to be obviously enabling some of those SMS features. So that's the setup for a calendar. So I'm going to save that calendar again. That's the club registrar one. So then if I wanted to make changes for club secretaries, I'd go in again and make similar changes for their meetings. So that's the club calendar. That's the calendar and its notifications components. So that's the end of this clip.